Be careful. So that in the days of your result, you don't mock a man that got the schooling. Because the fact that you have the result doesn't mean you are schooled. You may feel the one who is qualified to teach on a subject is the one who has result on it. No, it is the one who has process on it. Because there are many ways to get the same thing without the process. There are. Well, you just find out that one is shallow. And that's why the Bible says, follow those who through faith and patience obtained the promise. That is, you are not worth following if all you have is result. There must be a template of patience. There must be a template of waiting. There must be a template of faith. So there's no such thing as ignore their stories. After all, the result is here. There's no such thing. So if I'm going to read your books or listen to your message, I want to say three things. Is there faith in your story? Because the most arrogant one is the one who got it without God. The fellow will almost start schooling those who are waiting on God. What do you mean? Are you saying it's like this? And then they will call the people who get things without God. When they want to make comparison, they also compare you with those who got it without God. Because the realm of those who waited on God to get it is too high for a carnal man to understand. They can't understand it. And you go to family meetings, they compare you. They sit you down. Look at your life. What about so and so? And sometimes you know that the people they are comparing you can't do what those ones are doing. And sometimes families enter survival mode so much. I think I saw a joke somewhere. It must be a joke. I'm not sure it's real. The man was telling the son that how about Folake? Say she's fine. Say get close to her now. And then the girl has money now. That he heard that the girl took the father to America. The guy said, really? He says, yeah, okay. That actually he is already close to Folake. And Folake has now taught him what she did. Say, no, he said he heard that Folake took the mother to America. Folake is actually, yes, I'm close to Folake now. And she taught me what she did. Say, that's it now. That's how to be my smart boy. Say, so what she did is what exactly I'm about to do. Like, her father died 2 years ago. That she used him for a ritual. So he said, I'm about to do the same thing that she did. That, the man said, no. Mark Besumo. What that means is, don't get, that's not. Sometimes parents put children under pressure in comparison with those who are doing it without God. And if those ones should get there, the parents won't live long. The parents won't live long. The only guarantee there is to longevity is that you learn faith. You learn what? Faith. Let me give you an instance. Oh Lord, help me, Lord. Sometimes you can get message from people, and particularly here in Africa. Let me just leave it. Somebody can just send a message. Apostle, I want a ministry in so and so place. The rent is due for the church, and then we want to pay this. Please send money. And sometimes you read it and then you see blackmail. That people have big ministries, help the small ministries. And I've also seen questions like that online. And why can't all the big ministries, like winners, just look for all these young ministries, like 100, and just give them like 100 million naira each? Let them to go and establish. Ministry is not marketplace. They don't set two people to start ministry. You will learn faith to start ministry. Your greatest asset is not money, it's the blessing. You can read it all. Abraham gave his goods to his servants, everything to them. And the Bible said he gave all that he had to Isaac. What was all that he had? The blessing. Let me tell you what that day means. It means one day, so Abraham and Isaac stood, and Isaac was watching Abraham. Say, you take those cattle, you take those sheep, you take that tent, you take all this. And there was nothing left. There was nothing left. And all he had for Isaac was go on your knees. That was all. This is the definition of all that he had to Isaac. If you give a man money without this one, he's a prodigal son. He will waste it. What was the prodigal son? It's the one who had money without the blessing. It's finished. Sit down. Have you seen people that go to a territory and you start hearing noise? We are taking over this territory. We are taking over. That's Elkanah. Because he's not speaking from a process of hearing what God said while waiting. He's speaking from his consciousness of the sons of Peninnah. We have 500 million in the account. If we put billboard here and put billboard there and get this light and get that light and get so and so big event center, I will say what I will say. Just get my light back. Don't worry, I'll teach this one. Okay, but listen to what I'm saying. I'm going somewhere. How many of you have seen people make those kind of boasts before? We take over everywhere. Any boast you make that the root of it is not God, you'll be shown how frail you are. You will learn it in the hard way. Somebody can just start boasting. 2025. I'm married with 2 children. Because a bobo have said I'll marry you. Mercy in this equation will be that God will remove all that speaks like God but is not God. Maybe what I'm saying is too much of bones. Maybe I can tidy this up and go to milk. Are you sure? That happens a lot. When we were coming to Abuja, the instruction was clear. Giving out my cars, giving out my rent. Yes. Coming to Abuja, there was no rent. Not because I could not afford. God help me. I want to teach certain things. I mean, if not that, we are live streaming this thing across all our centers. This is the point where I say off camera. All right. I'm going to be ministering in Ibadan. That's our church in Ibadan, Thursday and Friday. I will just say it in one word: follow the teaching. All right. Maybe we're going to release private stream. Listen to what I'm saying. Mercy is anything God does to make sure things goes his way in your life, even if it means that you will cry. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have experienced promise and fail before? Wave your hands. I have. One time I observed that the pattern of promise and fail in my life was so much. Let me come up and say what I want to say. And whenever I attend a meeting and they want to pray for people who has the evil pattern of promise and fail, I'll come out. After they release the prophetic word, they will see you promise and fail. So I started observing that this thing is too much of a pattern. I need to know what's going on. And I found out that it was because each time a promise came, I moved from faith to hope. Let me explain. Faith is, oh Lord, my God will, even when it doesn't look like it. Okay? No promise. Nobody has promised to anything. Nobody has said I want to do anything for you. Nobody has said I will sponsor you to America. Nobody has said I will pay your school fees. Nobody has said this. I know my God will. And it looks as though every time you say I know my God will, the devil is giving you caution. Be careful of the way you talk. What if at the end of the day God doesn't? Then suddenly, one uncle came and said, send your account number. Tomorrow, I'm sending you 50 million naira. Go and start the process. You will observe that when you want to talk among the same peers now, you will speak with a new level of audacity that you did not speak with when it was God who spoke. This your newfound audacity is because an uncle spoke. You have journeyed backwards from faith to hope. Whatever you are doing then that sounds like faith is not faith, and it can't produce. The Bible says when you now put your trust on the arms of flesh, you are bound to fail. That's the reason for promise and fail. It's the same reason why many relationships break. That from the day you start telling the guy that you are the proof of God's love to me. We just finished Easter. The death of Jesus is not enough proof. Let me explain. Let me explain. Let me explain. Those of you who have been through breakup before can understand what I'm about to show you. While the relationship was sweet, you believed more the things God said about the future. That God has said we'll have so and so children. This is it. It's looking like it. If when the relationship ended, you struggle to believe God's promises towards you, that was the reason why it ended. Can I come again? Okay, so you understand. Okay, all right. That was the reason why it ended. God will never let anybody play God in your life. And if it means you losing them to let you know nobody can love you like him, it is mercy. So sometimes God is making a statement. The moment you put anything on the seat that God should sit down, it is bound to die. Are you seeing the reason why the tears are so deep when there's breakup? Because it's like the fellow left with all the promises. Imagine a situation where maybe a church, everybody already sees you as the mother in Israel, and God has given you words that, are you with me? I don't even know if I want to go this line. God has given you words that there's an anointing upon you. You're a mother to nations. You will discover that you start interpreting the words of God in respect to your prospect, such that if care is not taken, you cannot find a definition to what God said to you outside of him or her. The day Uzziah died, Isaiah saw the Lord. You will know what God is saying the day those people that you have used as your anchor lives your life. You will not know you are ignorant as long as they are there. On the part of a man whose life will exemplify faith is a lot of losses of things that looks like God, but is not God. And there's nothing wrong with you. You are just being arranged. Tell your neighbor, nothing they do you. In fact, the proof that everything is wrong with you is that God doesn't find a reason to remove anything from your life. That's the proof. Just be doing your life. Why? Because you are not betting the promise. Elkanah. Elkanah. Did you ever see God ask, have you considered my servant Elkanah? Seeing that he's a man that fears God and eschews evil. Huh? May your life please God. And may you not be shallow to think that things are proof of validation.